Hello and welcome to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of my benches inside the greenhouse and outside where I've got them stored for the winter. So let's take a look. All right, let's start underneath this bench where I have some moss growing. It gets some afternoon sun. This moss right here I collected on the north side of a wall near a gas station on the main street in my town. I asked the attendant if I could. He looked confused, but he let me do it. And this is the stuff that I've been growing. That's like sod that I can just peel off and use. Here are some irises that I started from seed. I picked up in Berkeley, California. I cut them back when I brought them in here. I should have left them outside, but I thought they would perish, so I brought them in. I cut them back, and the new growth is very fine and very, not very robust. But I'm assuming this is going to cool down in the winter and die off and then just come back in the springtime. That's my hope anyway. And this is a similar situation with irises that I cut down and are growing back. Here's a spruce from a seed. It's got a nice double trunk. It's actually got a branch down there on one of those trunks, so I'll take care of that. This is a grape, wild grape, that I'm thinking about doing something with. And this is my wild grape vineyard penjing that's hopefully going to come back in the springtime. Over here I've got a little boxwood that I started from cutting. And here are two pots with hemlocks in them that I planted from seed. They're tiny. We'll see what happens. Here's one of my lantana that I'm going to keep in the greenhouse this year for the first time. And here are 3 lantana that I grew from seed. Seeds come in these little pods, so it works. And I have another 3 lantana that are starting to be very well developed trees in their own right. Here's my olive from Aldi, my Thuja occidentalis primo. I have 3 of them, and I also have a cutting that I hope will root. Here are my leptonella, those little fern-like things that I'm trying to develop. I call this my leptonella farm. Here are my English ivy. In here are some bald cypress seeds that I don't know if they'll be viable, but I put them in water just figuring that's what they normally do anyway. Here's a Chinese elm cutting. Here is my Central Park penjing, which I will be cleaning up and replanting some moss in an upcoming video. In this pot right here, I have 3 oak seeds from Northern California, which probably won't germinate, but I always try. Here I have some Japanese painted fern. There's nothing coming up yet. I cut it all back. It should come up in spring. And here are some Seiju elm cuttings. In here I have 100 Japanese white pine seeds that I planted dry. And here are 100 that I planted after soaking. We'll see if anything comes up in either one of them. And here are some Satsuki azalea, some regular azalea, just a beautiful flower that I have on one of my azaleas. And I showed you before the Thuja occidentalis primo cuttings. This is a different azalea. And this won't survive, I'm sure, but this is a cutting from my my new willow leaf ficus. That's a cutting from some sort of Hinoki cypress. Thank you. Thank you. Who am I thanking? These are my little miniature daisies. And here's another azalea cutting in a little cute little pot. Now let's go outside. Just before I go inside, I want to show you I keep rainwater in milk jugs. I have quite a few of them, as it rained the other day for the first time in months, and I collected as much rainwater as I could. I'm going to continue this rainwater discussion outside. Come on out with me. So I finally put gutters on this side of my house. You can see them up there. I got it coming. This is a big section of roof right here where two roofs intersect. It comes down and it picks up the gutter that is on my porch roof. And right here, I have it running out to the ground. But in this corner, I will be at some point putting a cube and picking up that gutter. An IBC cube, hopefully 275 or 300 some odd gallons. All right, let's look at my trees. In front, well, these are my benches, if you remember. I take the top off my benches and I drape them over the side, providing a windbreak. And on the other side, I have some other trees planted. So here are some eastern red cedar, some elms in the front, and some thuja in the back. Those thuja were all planted by my mom. And I've got a plan. These are some weird, long trees. I've got a plan for some of these to kind of look like a weird painting that I have in my house, which I'll show you at the time. Okay, in the first set of benches, here's my eastern red cedar forest. You might not be able to see that there. My eastern red cedar forest is here. I've got some other odd eastern red cedars in pots here. This is, oh, somebody's been eating at that. I've got to take care of that. This is my grafted ginkgo biloba. Next to it's my other ginkgo biloba, my regular leaf one. Here is my little royal oak that was sent to me by Matt Brennan. Here are a couple of Alberta spruce and my cherry trio. Coming around the other side of the benches. Here's my Rose of Sharon, which is twigging out nicely. Another Alberta spruce. Here is my nice garden juniper penjing that was started by Candace from the YouTube channel Bonsai Science. Here is my larch forest near the roadway and the big rock. It's gone to sleep for the winter. This is the end of its fall colors. I have to say the foliage wasn't great after my midsummer pruning. There's a cotoneaster, a larch cutting. Here is a Japanese holly that I got to demonstrate what you can do with cheap nursery stock. Here is my boxwood. And here's my dawn redwood forest. Here's some red maples that were sent to me by Matt Brennan also. I made 3 little fusion projects out of it, and I'll try to refine that in the spring. There's a little apple tree, I think, and another garden juniper, which I purchased to demonstrate what you can do with cheap nursery stock. Here are my bald cypress, this penjing. I'm probably missing a few things. There's another larch cutting. That is, I think, a maple, if I'm not mistaken. A Japanese maple. Here is my American hornbeam. And here's my burning bush. And look at this. This is my Satsuki azalea. The colors are just phenomenal. The lighter color, I've never seen it do this before, but what's interesting is I have a cutting from this. It's doing the exact same thing. It's absolutely amazing. Here are some thuja. This is the tanuki. It's hard to see. This is my hinoki cypress. I have a seiju elm there. Another thuja that I grew from seed. This is, I'll have to come back with the name of this. I always forget. And some cuttings of bald cypress in there. Hope they do all right. This is a golden Chinese juniper, which hasn't been golden since I bought it. Some Zelkova trees. There are 6 of them here that I plan to use as street trees in a penjing if it works out. This is a privet, which I cut back severely because I got real tired of how it was looking. But it only started growing back in one place. I only got new growth on one of these, so I don't know what I'm going to do with this in the spring. I don't know what these are. These are my Japanese Katsura seedlings. They'll be going into their 3rd year, and I'll be doing something with them in the spring. This is one of my mom's thujas that I messed around with, and I'll still be messing around with because it was my mom's. That's another variegated azalea. Some honey locust, another boxwood, some oddball trees that I couldn't tell you what they are except for that Japanese maple in the middle. Maybe they all are. Here's my Cotoneaster. Here's a little elm forest. Here's another elm. This is my American elm that I have high hopes for. And this is my hazel, which I also have high hopes for. I have a blueberry. I have a Shinpaku juniper. I have my little mother-daughter Taringo crabapple. These are my wisteria. And here's another one of those Satsuki azaleas with the different colors. Actually, this one doesn't look like that other one. And some more wisteria. So that's a tour of my garden, a plan for my water collection, and thank you for keeping me company in my backyard.